that time of year with WWE. Uh, Bit of a talent exodus going on, obviously. Never a good time, is it? So I think so far we've had Alba Fire, Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Zoe Stark. Don't know if I'm missing anyone there, but never a good sign. Probably more to come. I think Bo Dallas. I don't know if I said Bo Dallas there, but obviously that's probably the biggest one so far. Hopefully there isn't many more, but you know, these things are happening. They happen around this time of the year, every year, sadly, um, because WWE decide that this is what they feel necessary to do. I mean, I guess, look, everyone can't have their place on the roster all the time. I understand that, but I don't know if this is the right thing to be doing right now after all the negative publicity that they've had over WrestleMania prices and everything like that. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep up to date with all the wrestling news going on, obviously around the current situation, and just keeping an eye on any potential releases. But yeah, as I say, so far I think we've had Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Alba Fire, Zoe Stark, and we'll see if we get any more. I know Zoe's obviously had her injury problem, so that's understandable, but quite surprised about Alba Fire, I must say. I thought they would maybe keep her on with everything going on with Chelsea Green, but that is a bit of a shock. Yeah, crazy time. Like I say, they obviously they do this every year around this time, but it's just quite a shocking one, really, isn't it? And especially because I believe they've just announced the signing of Evil today, so kind of a strange time to do it considering everything that's going on. And like I said, off the back of um, the issues that they've had with WrestleMania pricing and people not being happy with that, it is very surprising that they've decided today of all days would be the best time to do this. But yeah, for anyone that's just tuning in, you don't know, obviously. Yeah, so Bo Dallas, Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross, Zoe Stark, and Alba Fire so far have all been released by WWE today in the last 30 minutes or so. Sorry, I'm not really looking at the camera. I'm just looking just to keep check on if there's been any more releases. As of yet, there's not been any more, which is good news. I mean, I don't want anyone else to be released, and hopefully that stays the same. Just keeping up to date with Sean Ross Sapp and a lot of other sources. They usually they know beforehand, because I don't think anything's been announced about Bo just yet, but it seems as though a lot of kind of wrestling journalists are saying that Bo is gone, which is just crazy, isn't it? So I'm just keeping an eye on Sports Illustrated as well. Hello, Nicole. How are you? I'm very surprised. I'm just saying I'm very surprised about some of these releases. It seems as though the WYATT 6, it's basically a culling of the WYATT 6, really, isn't it? Because it feels like they're probably all going to go. If Bo's gone and seemingly Joe Gacy. We're just talking about the WWE releases. So sadly, today is that day. It comes around once a year. Right after WrestleMania, they decide which members they're going to cut from the roster. And it seems to be Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Alba Fire, Zoe Stark are all the names officially gone. I think there's actually a tweet from let's see. There's a tweet from Nikki Cross. She says, "Goodbye and thank you, WWE. I'm really excited for whatever my next chapter I will hold. Thank you for the continued love and support. A special thank you to Robbie Brookside and William Regal for helping this dream come true. Thank you to the wrestlers, coaches, producers, and all the backstage crew who make all of this possible. To all the amazing girls in the locker room. Yeah, so a bit of a sad one, obviously. Nikki's been there for quite some time, so it come through the NXT ranks. So yeah. Hopefully, there's no more. I mean, it's never nice, is it? Although I do worry that if the White Six, if we're seeing Nikki and Bo and Joe Gacy go, then it's probably the end um for Rowan and who else is in the White Six? My mind's gone blank. Sorry, I'm just checking the news again. I can't wait to see it. I'm actually playing. I have no idea what you're talking about, and you're probably a bot. But hello anyway. Wrestle Talk have also posted about it, so I'm just keeping up to date to see if there are any more releases. As of yet, like I say, I'll just run through for anyone who's just joined. Zoe Stark, Nikki Cross, Alba Fire, Bo Dallas, and Joe Gacy are all gone from WWE as of the last 35 minutes or so. I believe Bo is the most recent one, and that was maybe 15-20 minutes ago now, so hopefully it's starting to slow down, but this news is sort of just trickling through in the last, like I say, half an hour or so, so we'll have to wait and see if any more happen. And obviously if you guys hear anything, then please let me know as well in the chat. Not a nice time. And I'm not gonna obviously speculate on who might get released and things like that, because these are people's jobs at the end of the day. So hopefully there isn't any more. But yeah, not a good time, because it's like I say, especially after WrestleMania and the ticket prices, it's never good to hear all these quote unquote budget cuts. Not good, not good. Just gonna keep checking. So yeah, I believe there's been 7 releases in the last 35 minutes. So my internet's a bit slow as well, so I'm just trying to keep up to date if anyone else has been released. Hello for everyone that's joining, by the way. It sucks. I hate seeing people be released. I think Alba Fire for me is the one that's probably surprised me the most, maybe along with Bo, but it seems as though they are cutting a lot of people from the company, obviously, for... Again, I've said before that, they can't keep everyone around all the time. I understand that, but it's just doesn't seem the right time to be doing this. But the WWE is a business at the end of the day. They don't really slow down for anyone, so yeah, we'll see. Just gonna check Wrestle Talk again just to see if they've updated it. Not good. Yeah, and they've signed Evil today, so yeah. Who got cut? So far it is... I'll try and run through all the names. I hate that I have to say all the names. Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross. So there's 3 of the Wyatt Six already gone. Zoe Stark and Alba Fire so far. They've been happening in the last sort of 35 minutes or so. So there's always the chance that there's more on the way, which sucks. But these are the things that happen in WWE, I suppose. The company keep moving on, and people are gonna get released. But I think when it's like this, yeah. And yeah, they signed Evil today, which I feel like they put him in a bit of a strange spot to get signed on the day they're releasing everyone, but I suppose it is what it is. But yeah, sorry, I'm just keeping up to date with everything that's going on. I think you need some buddies from overseas. Yeah, I think. I mean, they've been teasing some like a debut of a Japanese star on NXT, so I'm assuming that's either Hiromu Takahashi, which he's apparently also going to sign with WWE, or maybe has, but they just haven't announced it. But I believe WWE have made that official now that Evil has signed with the company. Um, I believe he wants to be in NXT because he wants to sort of acclimate to like Western wrestling and get used to how WWE operate, basically. Chicken, yeah. I mean, I think Hiromu. It seems like Hiromu is on his way to WWE and will probably go to NXT as well. Um, I guess, just to get fans used to him that maybe aren't familiar with him. But yeah, he's gonna do amazing. Of course, he will. Uh, yeah. Thankfully, there haven't been any more. The list is Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Alba Fire, Zoe Stark, and Bo Dallas. Have I missed a name there? I feel like I missed a name. Bo Dallas and Alba Fire for me are probably the two bigger ones. Um, but yeah, clearly the WYATT SICKS are probably doomed. Um, Based on everything we're seeing at the moment, it does not look good for the WYATT SICKS. I don't think they're going to be sticking around by the sounds of it. Which would be a massive shame because I think they could have done so much more with the WYATT SICKS, but they've just not capitalized on it. So yeah, it's a massive shame. It really is. Yeah. So Sportskeeda posted something a couple of hours ago saying that there probably would be releases today because they usually a lot of the wrestling journalists sort of will know beforehand that they get word of these things happening. So they had kind of got the jump on it a little bit. But yeah, obviously what's happened has happened, and the releases have started. We'll probably get more throughout the night. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. And obviously, with it being a Friday, it's a strange time. Obviously, with them having a show tonight, and I mean, in what? How long? 2 hours? You know, that's just crazy, 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 crazy. And obviously, they're bringing up people now from NXT, so they're trying to make space for other people, which I understand. But yeah, some of them are strange decisions for sure. I'm hoping we don't get any more. I'm just keeping an eye on things like Wrestle Talk just to see what's going on. Um, yeah, WYATT SICKS members Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, and more have been released. Alba Fire, Zoe Stark. Um, yeah, Nikki Cross. As I said, I'll just read it out again for anyone who maybe hasn't seen it yet. Nikki Cross posted on X, I believe. Is this yes? This is X. To say a special thank you to Robbie Brookside and William Regal for helping this dream come true. Thank you to the wrestlers, coaches, producers, and all backstage crew who made this all possible, and to the amazing girls in the locker room. So that's Nikki Cross, her statement after leaving WWE. Um, yeah, just not great. And obviously Zoe Stark has been released. She's had her injury problems. It felt like she was probably going to get released sooner, but maybe they added time on for injuries and stuff. So that seems to make sense on that end. Yeah, there's not been any more as of yet, which is a good sign. But yeah, some surprising ones. But I mean, Bo Dallas particularly. I'm quite surprised at that. But it seems like they are trying to just cut the WYATT Six entirely, which I understand why. I mean, they're not the most popular group at the moment, but that's the way they've booked them. Really, they can't blame the WYATT Six for that. I mean, they've tried to make the most of what they've been given. Yeah, as I say, I'm just keeping an eye on any potential releases. Hopefully there isn't any more. As I say, it's never nice when people get cut. These are people's jobs at the end of the day, but um, just trying to keep up to date with if anything else happens. Um, whether we'll get more today or more possibly through the night. I mean, it's late over here. It's 11:30 p.m. But um, we'll see. Yeah. Not good, not good. Yeah, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Zoe Stark, and there's probably more coming, unfortunately, because they don't tend to uh, end with just 5 or 6, do they? They end up being more. Sometimes they start with, you know, maybe a few NXT people, but yeah, it seems like they're just going straight for the main roster this time. Uh, which is a shame because I think there's some names on there that have done really well. I mean, Joe Gacy I think's been really good. He hasn't really been given much, but yeah. Hockey Town, hello, by the way. Nice to have you back. Poor Alba and Zoe, but can't say I saw that. Yeah, yeah, I think it's. Yeah. They've called up a lot of people, well, a few people this week from NXT on Raw, and there'll probably more tonight on SmackDown, which I don't know how the atmosphere is going to be backstage at SmackDown. It's probably not going to be the best because I'm sure a lot of people went to SmackDown tonight, maybe in the hopes of seeing people like Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, uh, possibly Alba Fire as well, and they're all gone now. Yeah, yeah, Ricky, JC Blake. Yeah, a lot of them are probably coming up. Yeah, yeah, and like I say, we'll probably see. This is the SmackDown after Mania, which I'm sure we'll see some call ups tonight. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to read your name. Sorry. Is that Swipe Demon? Sorry, I'm probably butchered your name, but hello, how you doing? Um, my internet's running so slow, so if you guys know of any releases before me, then obviously let me know. Please don't post any false ones though, because like I say, these are people's jobs at the end of the day. So um, we're just trying to keep up to date with what's going on. Um, has there been any more? I don't believe so. Not that I can see. It seems that were announced. Um, I only heard Zoe and Alba. Yeah, so it's I think Zoe and Alba were the first two to go, but it's now Zoe Stark, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, and I believe Andre Chase as well has just been released. Um, why did I think Andre Chase was already released? Is that right? That seems to be true. A couple of different websites are reporting that now. So yeah, there's another one. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. By the way, I usually make like wrestling video essays and things like that. So, but I thought I'd come live because obviously, I don't know. It's never a nice situation when people are getting released and stuff. So I think it's always nice to sort of see what other people's opinions on it are. And well, I suppose the main thing to say is just to and support these guys. Obviously, this is how they make their living at the end of the day. And if they're getting released and they go back to the indies, then just support the hell out of them, buy their merch, interact with them on social media, and just support the hell out of them. I mean, look, they're all very talented, so they could easily be picked up by TNA or AEW. So, But yeah, Duke was already released some time ago. Yeah, yeah, I think Duke was. Yeah, they said Andre Chase on, I believe, Wrestle Talk. So yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's gone. So yeah, that's another name. I can't be surprised because I love Bray Wyatt, but I don't really care about the WYATT Six. Yeah, the WYATT Six. Yeah, I just don't think they've been booked very well, have they? And it's a massive shame. I really enjoy the WYATT Six, but yeah, it's, they've just not done anything with them for a long time. So it's well, obviously, um, for the two remaining members. So I imagine they'll go because I don't see, as much as that sucks, because like I said, these are people's jobs at the end of the day, but I don't see them keeping, the likes of Eric Rowan there if the rest of the WYATT Six are gone. So I expect that to probably come today, which sucks. Yeah, I mean, the WYATT Six, obviously they've still been active on WWE TV. They've been in the feud with MFT, but I guess they've, you know, I guess them winning the Lantern back and that big street fight was the kind of the end for them. I don't know whether they knew that. Um, I'm sure they probably did to some degree, but yeah. Us as fans, obviously, we didn't know that, so it's never it's never a nice way to see someone leave the company, obviously. Um, so just the Wyatts and Zoe and Albert. So far, yeah. Um, they haven't said anything yet about um Rowan, so I'm waiting to see because they've released 3 of the 5 members. Yeah, yeah. Nikki, Bo, and Joe Gacy. But nothing on Loomis and nothing on Eric Rowan as of yet. Obviously, I assume that those releases will probably happen because it's just not looking good, is it? Like I say, I don't see why they would keep them around if they're going to release the rest of the WYATT Six. It seems like they're probably just going to get rid of them all, which sucks. But I don't see why they would keep them around. But yeah, Andre. Yeah, it was Andre Chase. Yeah, he's also been released. Which tells me that there probably are some NXT cuts coming as well. I don't see why it would just be Andre Chase. I'm sure there'll be more. Andre Chase has also posted on X as well. He says, "One last teal moment. I couldn't have done it without you. And I was starting in June. Let's get to work." And there's also a little clip there. So, um, I guess yeah, he's waiting for his 90 days to be up, and he wants to be back in wrestling. Oh, Joe Gacy also tweeted and just said, "Lol." So he didn't sound too happy about it, Joe Gacy, which understandably so. Um, and also just a little sort of peace out. So maybe they didn't see it coming then. Yeah, that's kind of surprised me actually. I thought maybe that they were told that the SmackDown before Mania was their last match, but doesn't seem like that was the case based on that reaction from Joe Gacy. Um, yeah, interesting. And I mean, we've heard a lot from people in the past. Just they get the call from talent relations, kind of just out of the blue, to say, "Oh, by the way, what you're getting cut." It's like it's very cold. The way that seemingly the way they do it is very just out of the blue, um, which must be horrible because if you're someone that is worried about your position in the company, and you're just waiting around for a call, because obviously these the talent will be aware of what's going on. They'll see a lot of their friends being released, so it's that sucks. It's horrible. I think the way they do it as well, having these sort of gradual releases where they are seemingly happening in real time. You know, um, this isn't like they got released yesterday and it's just getting announced now. because these talents are reacting live. Like I say, Joe Gacy just tweeted out about 10 minutes ago saying "lol," so he clearly just found out on it. Um, and we've also heard in the past of people finding out that they've been released through like people reporting on it, which is crazy, right? It's like I think we saw it in the past with I'm trying to remember who it was, but they'd said like I didn't know I was released, lol, but I've just heard Sean Ross Sapp tell me I've been released, which is just crazy. Uh, Maybe Alba can reunite with her partner Isla Dawn in AEW or Ring of Honor. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think that's probably what they might do. Uh, she's a great wrestler. I mean, I saw her on the Indies as Kaylee Ray um, wrestle up and down the UK for many years, and she's very talented. So that one sucks because I think she's great. Your favorite Pokemon? Oh my god, I've not watched Pokemon for many years, so I have no idea. Jigglypuff. It's the first Pokemon that came to my mind. Sorry. Yeah, Alba's very underrated. I agree. Um, it's a massive shame for a lot of these people. I mean, like I say, with Zoe Stark, it was possible that they added time on with her injury, so that's maybe why she didn't get released sooner. But again, Zoe Stark is very, very talented. I mean, I love the stuff that Zoe did with Trish Stratus, um, and she got injured probably not too long after last year's, or maybe around about this time last year, right? And she's been back since. So, uh, and also I believe it was around this time last year that her partners in the what the hell is it called? Something Fusion Collective, um, with Shayna Baszler and my mind's gone blank. Sonya Deville. Um, they were released around the same time as well, so they kind of left Zoe on her own, and then Zoe got injured. So I assume that they have kept Zoe around because of her injury, knowing that they couldn't really release her when she was injured, um, which sucks. I mean, I hope Zoe's okay. I hope she's not still injured, because then it's obviously gonna take time for her to get out of her like non-compete clause. But hopefully she's okay. Yeah, Zoe's very cool. I thought she was very badass and very. I don't know. They could have done a lot more with her, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Shayna is. Yeah, I think she has a backstage role as far as I'm aware, um, which is good because Shayna is just she knows what she's doing, doesn't she? She's incredible. I don't think there's been any more since Andre Chase, which was maybe around 15, 20 minutes ago. Probably not long after I'd started this live. So we're doing okay for the fact that there's not been any more as of yet. Hopefully there isn't a lot more, but I do fear that they do come in waves. We might see some probably after SmackDown. I don't think they'll cut anyone during the show. That would be insane. Um, Although who knows? They do a lot of crazy things. This company, including releasing people right after making an insane amount of money off of WrestleMania. So we'll see. I'm just gonna look up Sean Ross Sapp because he usually has a lot of the inside information. I mean, he seems to report on people being released before they even know that they've been released. So whatever his source he has in WWE is pretty impressive. And like I say, with Andre Chase being released, it does worry me that there's maybe NXT releases coming. Usually with NXT, there's only a few, but it's just never a good sign, is it? Um, Andre Chase was someone who was more than good enough to be on the main roster, probably 6 months to a year ago, and they seemingly couldn't find anything to do with him, which is crazy. I think the Chase U thing was good, but like you say, Duke Hudson got released a while back, and um, they've taken that group in a different direction. So yeah, As a Julia fan, I'm so sad her reign is ending tonight. She's just not clicking with the audience. I think she should have gone to AEW. In all seriousness, her with Tekla would have been good. Yeah, yeah, I think that would have been great. I mean, I don't watch much AEW, so I must say I was happy when um, Julia came to WWE. But yeah, I mean, she again is amazing, but for some reason they don't seem to know what to do with her, which is kind of crazy. Because she's just very, very talented. Yeah, I can't say I've seen a great deal of Andre Chase, but it's just it's just crazy. I mean, you know, you feel like a lot of the people that have been around in NXT for a while, like Andre Chase, you know, should be given at least one run on the main roster to see how they handle it, I guess. Even if it's just a one-off appearance. I mean, they did that with um, sorry, I'm just checking if there's any more cuts. They did it with, my mind's gone blank. Who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? Brain's gone. Lash Legend. That's what I'm thinking of. They had Lash have a couple of matches in a tag team on SmackDown before she eventually got called up like a couple of months later. And you know, you can always do that with the likes of Andre Chase and people that are down in NXT. You're not sure um, whether they can sort of what their role would be on the main roster. Well, you know, bring people up and give them a chance. You don't have to call them up necessarily, but you can give them a go and see how it pans out. And clearly it worked with Lash Legend, and they released Jakarta Jackson. So um, for what reason I don't particularly know. I mean, I like Jakarta, but Lash was obviously the star of the group. But yeah, there hasn't been any more, which is good. Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy, Zoe Sock, Alba Fire, and Andre Chase, which probably started just over an hour ago. Um, yeah, I like Jakarta as well. I thought she could. Um, yeah, I loved them both. Yeah, I agree. They were a really good team, I thought, but clearly they saw more in Lash Legend, and Jakarta got cut eventually. Um, I don't know. Maybe they see things we don't. I don't know, but yeah, it was a strange one for sure. Yeah, like I say, I thought they were a great team, and I thought maybe they had potential to win the tag belts, but clearly WWE didn't see it the same way, unfortunately. It's just annoying, isn't it? Because they've got SmackDown tonight, and it's just kind of sucks the air out of the environment, really, doesn't it? I think Lash was the start. Yeah, 100%. I think, like, I mean, they could have always put Jakarta back in NXT and tried something else with her. Really didn't want to push forward with her, which yeah was a bit of a surprise. Yeah, they could have absolutely kept them as single stars. I don't know. Like I say, I mean, maybe they just see things we don't, and they have a certain way they want to approach different people. So we'll see. Um, I mean, we never really know, do we, what their reasoning is for cutting certain people, and then you know you have all the talk afterwards of why did this person get released, and why did they keep this person, blah blah blah. Um, and obviously, like I say, I don't want to speculate because you know it's these are people's jobs, so you don't want to say why is this person gone and why is this person stayed and try and justify it. But yeah, uh, it just sucks. Oh man, I hate releases because you always worry that where are these people going to end up, and I don't. A lot of these people deserve to be at the top level, and I get that WWE is obviously a very competitive environment to be in to try and find your spot on the main roster, but um, yeah, it sucks. It really does suck. I gotta be. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think I might end it here because I think, hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, as we edge closer to SmackDown, I don't think there'll be any more releases. At least I hope not. Hopefully, I haven't jinxed that, but um, I don't think there'll be any more releases. Well, maybe there'll be before SmackDown, but hopefully there isn't any um during SmackDown. I think they'd be crazy to release people during the show. Um, but who knows? They've done crazier things. Spider-Man, who got released? Yeah. So it is. I'll try and run through it off the top of my head. Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, Bo Dallas, Joe Gacy, Nikki Cross, and Andre Chase are all the names so far. Hopefully there's no more, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there's been quite a few. They all happened around about the same time, probably almost an hour ago now. But yeah, it does absolutely suck. Uh, you know, they're always going to release people around this time after WrestleMania for their supposed budget cuts, but they just made an awful lot of money, didn't they, at WrestleMania? So, yeah, it does suck. And they as I mentioned earlier, they just announced today that they've signed Evil from New Japan. Um, and I feel like they've put him in a bit of a weird spot, having just released a bunch of people. Oh, there is another name, unfortunately. It's a one that we probably expected. Dexter Lumis is gone from WWE. So that is sadly now four of the WYATT are gone. And I've been saying this whole time that I don't like to speculate on who's going to get released, but if they've released Bo Dallas, Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy, then I imagine it won't be long before we see another name who you all know. Yeah, even though like I say, I don't like to speculate on who gets released, but you'd have to assume now that that's coming, which sucks. When I saw Nikki was the first to go out of the WyattTT 6, and you sort of think, okay, maybe they're just gonna pivot. You know, maybe they're gonna put Alexa in the Sister Abigail role or something if they split Alexa and Charlotte up. But then quickly after that, Joe Gacy was gone. And then Bo was gone. So I mean, once you've got 6, I mean, you kind of know what the whole WyattTT 6 are gone. Apparently, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I think, yeah. I wish they would release Harry Emanuel. I think we all do at this point. I mean, I don't like to bash WWE too much, but yeah, it's just it sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, Dexter's officially gone now, so yeah. Ah, this sucks, man. This sucks. That the WyattTT 6 could have been a really big deal if they'd have booked it right, and they just from the very beginning, I don't think they knew what to do. Like those first couple of weeks with the vignettes of Bo talking to Uncle Howdy, and um, it could have been so good. It could have been so good, and they just, I mean, they went straight into a feud with the Miz, which is like kind of doomed from the start, aren't you? Hello, Alan. How are you? I only heard about Nikki. Yeah, Nikki was, I think, maybe the first to go along with Alba Fire about an hour ago. And have now been Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy, Dexter Lumis, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, and Andre Chase. So yeah, 4 of the 5 WyattTT 6 are gone now. And for anyone who's just joined as well, I talked earlier about Joe Gacy had put out just a tweet saying "lol." Um, so clearly he was not very happy about the release. I'm assuming he probably just found out at pretty much at the same time we did, because a lot of these wrestling journalists pick up on this stuff pretty quickly. So uh, yeah, I think that I was speculating on whether the match they had on SmackDown, the street fight, was maybe a sort of precursor for what's to come, and maybe they were told that was the last match. But uh, based on Joe Gacy's reaction, I don't think that's the case. I think that they were told probably around an hour ago that they were not um, going to be returning to WWE, which is crazy because SmackDown is tonight, and I mean, I'm. Is it possible that they were even there for, to shoot things, even if they weren't on the card? Like, it's crazy to think, isn't it? I mean, that's just speculation on my part, and hopefully that wasn't the case. Hopefully they were at home, but um, it just sucks. Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, Andre Chase, and as I said before, Dexter is also gone. Um, SmackDown Edge is closer as well. I think we're an hour away from SmackDown, and I don't think they'd be crazy enough to release anyone during the show. So hopefully it is coming to an end, these releases. I feel like fans should do something about it. The direction WWE is going is terrible. It does suck, and I mean, I don't know if anyone saw, but someone from TKO, I don't think it was Ari Emanuel, but someone had sat down at like a university lecture from WWE, and basically said they said the quiet part out loud, which was pretty much that, they have cut a section of the market, the family value tickets, to prioritize people who have more money, which I understand from a business point, but as much as we slander Vince, and you know rightly so, his personal life is extremely questionable. Um, he was very much tried to tailor WWE to make it somewhat affordable. I mean, it was expensive, but TKO have made it very much just a cold business product. Sucks. AEW picking them all up. Yeah, I mean, they could quite easily just pick up the whole based on the sounds of it, and do their own version of it. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool, but whether they do that or not, I don't know. Um, yeah, it was What's his first name? Shapiro. I was gonna say Ben. It's not Ben Shapiro. Although I wouldn't want to listen to Ben Shapiro either. But sat down at like a lecture and basically just said, like I said, the quiet part out loud of we don't sell as many tickets to WrestleMania anymore, but we don't really care because we can charge extortionate amounts of money. And I think this year they essentially tested the waters with what they could get away with in terms of price. I think they set the record gate for WrestleMania by quite some distance. They don't really care about attendance figures anymore. It's more about the gate and how much revenue they can gain from it and how much profit they can make from it. And they love to brag about that as well, which is crazy because I think that happened this week, and like a couple of days later, they're in the middle of releasing people. So it's just mad, isn't it? It's very tone deaf just to be like, we've made so much money. Oh, and also now here's all these people getting released. It's just, yeah. It'll be whatever the non-compete clause is before we find out about. Yeah, that's true. Um, I don't know whether I had a certain time on for injuries. Bo had an injury for a while, so maybe his is the longest. If they add time on for injury, but yeah, it sucks, man. It does suck. I wish WWE fans weren't as much of degenerates as they are. They would come together and boycott so they can understand. Yeah, I think tribalism in wrestling it sucks, doesn't it? Like I don't watch a lot of AEW, but I'm glad that they exist, and I'm glad there's an alternative for people. Um, And I think you see a lot of people turning to AEW right now because they don't feel like there's that connection with WWE anymore, and it's true. I mean, a lot of the things you see on social media now is WWE bragging about the profits that they've made or which celebrities will be appearing, and you see a lot of the influencers and things going. And it looks great from an outsider perspective, but for your average fan, I mean, your average fan like you and me who have a basic income, we're getting priced out of these things. It certainly feels that way anyway. I've started to come to the conclusion that I don't know if I'll ever go to WrestleMania because I live in the UK and prices are insane for WrestleMania now. I had a friend who went to Mania this year, and I think he said his tickets were like $900. So, and I think we all heard that some of the front row seats were like 30 grand or something, which is just absolutely crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about Vince, couldn't we? I don't want him back because of all the allegations that have been levied against him, and rightly so. He's gone from the company, but TKO from a business point have very much derailed WWE's connection with the fans, and the personality that they had is very much gone. Um, and I think during that Shapiro TKO are the ones pulling all the slander Triple H. I mean, it's hard to say how much creative control he actually has at the moment. I don't know. From a lot of the insiders and a lot of wrestling journalists seem to have said that Triple H and the creative team didn't want Pat McAfee anywhere near that night one main event, but TKO did for their celebrity endorsements and for their buzzworthy moments, I guess you can say. And they don't care whether it's good or bad. They don't care whether people love it or hate it. As long as you either love it or hate it, they don't want people in the middle. They want you know polarizing opinions so that they get the clicks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, WrestleMania is still on my bucket list, but I might have to have a bucket full of money on my bucket list as well because yeah, I mean, obviously, no, I don't think many people in the Western world are going to next year's WrestleMania with it being in Saudi, but it's just becoming very, very difficult to logistically see a world where your average fan, even in America, can go to WrestleMania. Especially if you have a family that you want to take with you, it's just becomes less and less feasible year by year. If this continues, which I think it will, because TKO have they tested the waters this year with what they could get away with in terms of prices, and they still got 1,000 people in the stadium each night. So they will absolutely do it again, and probably raise it even higher. Yeah, I mean, you can get a very nice car for front row seats at WrestleMania. I mean, I think we were talking like $32,000 or something for, and if they want to do these exclusive deals where you can go and, uh, I think one of the exclusive deals was you could have a meal with one of the wrestlers or something, which for like upwards of 40 grand or something. And if you want to do those luxurious VIP stuff type of deals, then you can, but it's because you have to pay these crazy prices now just to be in the arena, just to be right at the back and not be able to see anything. You have to pay, you know, upwards of like 800, $900. Um, and then you have to travel and you have to find accommodation and you have to uh, pay, like I say, if you go with your family, you have to buy food and drinks at the venue, and you might want to buy merch, and it racks up, doesn't it? If you buy an $800 seat, then you're going to be probably up to a grand after a couple of matches by the time you've paid for food and whatever else. Yeah, Uh, yeah, sell your kidney. I mean, I don't know how much kidneys are worth, but I doubt it's 32 grand. um, yeah, I have to sell them both, I think. um, Also, by the way, there is a slight update, which is that Dexter Lumis is being speculated to have been released by Sean Ross Sapp. All the others are confirmed because they've all, I believe, all those other releases have put out statements. Um, but Dexter Lumis has not been confirmed as of yet. But it's Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that he has been released. Um, and I'm seeing Eric Rowan now as well, which we thought was coming, didn't we? Um, and yeah, Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, Andre Chase, Eric Rowan, and Dexter Lumis, possibly. But I mean, come on. They're not going to release 4 out of 5 of the WYATT 6, are they? They're going to have them all gone, which is a massive shame. It really is. They could have done so much with the WYATT 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they kick Triple H out soon. Yeah, I mean, I could see it as well. I wouldn't be too surprised. Yeah, with them taking over creative. Oh, sorry, I got something in my glasses. With TKO apparently pulling the strings in creative. Yeah, I mean, they may very well decide one day that they don't need him anymore to pull the strings. WWE has always been the sport of humble beginnings, and poor people, all stars you see today, were poor, starting from zero fans. Now you wouldn't see that because they only want millions. Yeah, they do. They want very rich fans who are going to pay big money, and they want influencers to come and document their experience and make it look as cool as possible. But it's very, I mean, look, no offense to the influencers. I mean, if I had a big following on social media and they invited me, then hell yeah, I would go. But um, they do that to make it to make these influencers buy into the fact that they are this amazing company that do this for their fans. But they don't do this for their fans. They do this for that equivalent exchange of, you know, we are a very big company. You have a very big following. You post about us on social media. We get a better representation. Um, but that doesn't translate to fans, really, does it? Because we already know what the current situation is. Maybe to casual fans or people that don't know about WWE, maybe they look at that and go, wow, that looks really cool. I'd love to do that. But your average fan is not going to sit front row and have VIP access and meet the wrestlers and interview the wrestlers. Like, that's just not going to happen unless you have a lot of money or a huge following that you can influence to buy that product or watch that product. Because they don't want your average fan anymore. They don't want affordable tickets, which I'll give AEW a massive credit for. When I went to All In, um, extremely reasonable prices. Um, I'm sure there's AEW events that have been very pricey for people, but I don't think Tony Khan is running it the same way TKO are. That's pretty clear. As much as I prefer WWE as a product because it's you know it's probably more my style of wrestling that I enjoy in terms of like Western wrestling, but from a business side, it's WWE are ran very corporate, um, and it's not a good look, is it? Vince, as much as I hate him, was a genius because he knew all of these families who could buy tickets, and then WWE dreams of becoming future talents. Now, good lord, yeah, I mean, it turns a lot of people away from the product, doesn't it? And then you wonder, like, you want your average person to go to, like, every wrestler as a young kid, if they could afford to, has been to a WWE show. Now a lot of these kids, who are these next generation of kids that go to WWE shows and want to be wrestlers? Even though we live in a much more digital age where we can watch wrestling on our TVs and stuff. But being there in the arena is massively helpful to make you realize, like, oh, I want to do this when I grow older. Um, and that's maybe where the disconnect comes from at the moment, because they're not uh, creating that next level. Just your average person from, you know, now it's like you have. I think we're starting to see a whole generation of people that just can't afford to go to these shows, and I don't know whether that, maybe that's better for indie wrestling. Maybe that helps the independents a bit more. Um, Financially, it helps WWE, but it certainly doesn't cultivate a fan base that, you know, you've got, as they know, people. There are a lot of people who see it as a bucket list thing, like we've talked about. So people will stretch a bit more money to go to WrestleMania, but they're not. I don't think a lot of people are going to do it for, you know, Backlash. I don't know. I don't know if Backlash is on anyone's bucket list, but um, I think from a fan perspective, you know, I do hope people stop going and stop paying crazy money and demand that alternative. But you know, WWE, they're just, I don't know, they're gonna do everything, aren't they, to to keep pushing for as much money as they can out of people, and that's never gonna stop if TKO are still in charge for however long that they are going to be in charge. Yeah, it's not a good sign. The only language TKO understands is money. Yep, you're not wrong. To me, understand you got to boycott the. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, how do you bring people together to do that? It's like people are gonna they they've found their fan base. They've found their ideal customers. I don't know how. I don't know how they're finding 50,000 people that are willing to pay this type of money, but they somehow are. And yeah, it's crazy. I think, and there must be a lot of those people that are going to the shows that are not financially, like, well enough to support going to WrestleMania, but they know it's their dream, so they want to at least do it once. Um, and you know, as time goes on, obviously that's always going to be the case. There's always going to be that next generation of people who haven't been to WrestleMania. They want to go to the next one and the next one and the next one. Um, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like I say, I think that is how we do it, but that's just never going to happen. You know, I think you see that over here with like football and things, when fans want to protest their owners, people plan walkouts and they boycott games, but there's always going to be people that want to go to the games and want to support the team. So that's kind of how it is in wrestling, I suppose, right? People want to support the talent, they want to go and see their favorite wrestlers, but they don't go. But you kind of, you know, you have to. That's the moral dilemma, I guess. Um, People have to pick and choose what they want at the end of the day, and I don't think people are happy about paying those prices. But for WrestleMania, they are going to do it, and WWE know that, and they've certainly tested the limits of what people will pay, and sadly, people have paid it. So you know, they've kind of set the precedent for what is to come in the future, which is probably even more expensive. I never liked our Emmanuel guy from day one. He has the lifeless soul's corporate smile. Yeah, that. You made me think about that McDonald's CEO. You know, when he bit into the burger at like this world's tiniest bite and was like, "Yes, amazing product." It's like this guy's never ate McDonald's in his life, and he's the CEO. It's creepy. He's like Mark Zuckerberg type of person, like an alien man. um, yeah, Ori Emanuel. I think Nick Khan is the same. I think they just it sounds mean to say, but they do look very dead behind the eyes. Like this year and last year's Hall of Fame when they're just sat in the crowd, I'm like, these guys just don't care about us, do they? But I'm gonna leave it there for tonight, guys. I'll just read this chat. A few million gaming fans once made a difference when they boycotted a game, calling it an absolution, which forced the company to reverse their decision and give the fans what they want. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that can translate into wrestling. I think if they get a massive boycott, with the next couple of shows, and maybe this talent exodus will actually help people, you know, not want to go to shows, I suppose. But, ultimately, these are names that we probably expected to be released, so I do worry, um, like, you know, if Rhea Ripley got released, which is never going to happen in a million years, but if that happened, then maybe people would stand up and take a stand. But um, yeah, yeah, boycotting certainly has a lot of power. Um, I just worry at what level boycotting makes a difference. If it's something as huge as WWE, um, do they? Is it going to make that much difference? I hope so, but yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Rhea makes a lot of money for them. They're not going to release anyone that keeps the cogs turning. Um, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks. There's been no more releases as I've seen. It seems to be Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Uncle Howdy, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, and Andre Chase. Um, yeah, it sucks. We're getting closer to SmackDown, so I'm hoping there won't be any more. But yeah, that's kind of the breaking news. WYATT SICKS are gone, or every single member gone, which is crazy. But that's just how they do business these days, I suppose. But yeah, I'll let all you guys go. Thank you for everyone who's joined the live. This was very impromptu. I wasn't planning to do this, but obviously, when the releases started happening, I thought I'd come live and just see how people were doing and see what people's reaction was to it. So, yeah, I'll let you guys go. Have a good night. Enjoy SmackDown. And hopefully, there's no more releases. But we'll see. Bye.